Today's card is one that is perceived to be quite a lot more fun than some of the others, and it's the card that says play. And it's from the suit You Are Safe, so we see the cube there. And when we have a look at this card, we can see the sort of fun fair kind of element, going on these rides. And when we start to understand the joy and the experience of just having fun, going and enjoying and playing and experiencing all these different rides, we can start to take that metaphor to how do we play with our lives? How do we enjoy the experience of our lives? How do we surrender to this idea that we're here as part of a big playground and we get to play the way we want to play? Now, if you're like me and you go to a fun fair or an amusement park, I'm not a big fan of some of the rides. Some of those crazy ass rides are not for me. I'm really not interested in that amount of adrenaline. But for somebody else, that is sheer joy and exhilaration. And so the willingness to notice what ride do I want to go on and do I want to participate is a choice point. We do get to choose how we're going to play. We get to choose what rides we're going to go on. We get to choose what we're going to do. But if I continuously sit back and never go on anything, never stretch my own boundaries, well then I can't look at the others in jealousy and say, well, they're all having so much fun and I'm never allowed to, because we may not choose to go and participate in that. And so understanding this relationship between how I show up and what I choose to do and then how I experience it, that is how we navigate life. If we imagined life as being a big playground, we've got the slides and the merry-go-rounds and the swings and so on and so forth. There is no point sitting on the sidelines watching all the other kids play and being upset because you haven't been invited. Because you are invited. You've invited to participate. Whether you do or don't, that's the choice that you have. And so really looking at our lives as where we are holding ourselves back from participating. Where are we not getting involved? Because to play, you have to be involved. You have to get into the game. If we take the metaphor to a slightly different way of looking at it, if we wanted to play a board game, or if we wanted to play a sport, or we wanted to play any kind of activity, we have to show up, dress up, understand the rules and get involved, and then play your heart out, play fully, without the idea of whether you're doing it right or wrong. If you're on the field, play the game, but if you don't show up, you can't be upset for not being invited, because life is full of the constant opportunities to play the game. What's really important about this also, and I see this happening for so many of my clients, is you think you're playing one game when another game is the one that you've engaged in. If I had to put this into a practical way, corporate and being in a corporate environment is a very specific game. It's a game you get to play. And if we liken that to being on a rugby field, to playing rugby, if you show up every day thinking you're playing chess, but you actually signed up for the rugby game, you're going to be disappointed every single day. And you're not going to understand the rules and you're not going to do very well. So aligning with what the games are, playing the game in the way that it needs to be played. Now, this is not about you breaking the rules or doing any of these things. This is more about understanding the dynamics of what's going on in your life. Because the resistance to the game means that you are not going to set yourself up for success. You're not going to be able to participate fully. Once you know the game, you can figure out the rules and you can play your heart out and you can do your best within that. So if you'd rather play chess than rugby, then that's an important distinction to start making in terms of the choices you make in your life. I had one client of mine and they continuously complained about the fact that their work was something that they didn't like. They wanted it to be something different. But it's not that. The acceptance is, this is the game. If they want to play that game, other people playing the other games and go and change the game. But it comes with different risks, different rules, different opportunities. Yeah. So one of the things that you can do around this card, two things actually. The first is to look at where people are playing games that you would like to go and do. You would like to be having fun like that. You'd like to be engaging in those sorts of things, but you aren't getting involved. How do you need to show up? How can you go and get more involved there? And the second is, where are you not feeling like you're fitting in? And what is it that you're expecting it to be, and how could you shift it? Yeah? Either it's not the game you want to be playing, or you're expecting it to be a different game, and that requires some internalized reflection of that. Otherwise, life's here as a beautiful opportunity for us to play, to learn, to grow, and to experience. So I hope that you play fully. Sending you lots of love. Namaste.
Get your very own deck of I Am Lightwalker cards straight from Taryn by visiting IamLightwalker.com/cards.